Long ago, before history was written as we know it, the land between two great rivers, the Tigris and Euphrates, was home to the Sumerians. They built the world's first cities, created the first writing system called Cuneiform, and told stories that have lasted thousands of years. Among these stories, one of the most powerful and enduring is the tale of a great flood that washed over the world, a story that echoes in many cultures even today. The Sumerians believed the gods shaped the world and controlled the fate of humanity. According to their myths, the gods were not always kind. Sometimes they grew tired of human noise and mischief. One such story, written in ancient Cuneiform on clay tablets, tells of the time when the gods decided to send a great flood to wipe out mankind. The tablet that tells the story is damaged, its words worn by time, but scholars have pieced together its meaning. The story begins with a council of gods. The elder gods, led by Enlil, the god of wind and storms, were angry. Humans had become too numerous, too loud, and too troublesome. Their noise reached the heavens, disturbing the peace of the gods. Enlil declared that the only solution was to destroy them all with a great flood. But not all the gods agreed. Enki, the god of wisdom and water, was troubled by this decision. He saw the beauty in humanity and did not wish them to perish. But he could not openly defy Enlil's command. So Enki found another way. He went to the city of Shoropak, where a wise and pious man named Ziusudra lived. That night, as Ziusudra slept, Enki spoke to him in a dream. He warned him of the coming flood, telling him that the gods planned to drown the world. But Enki gave Ziusudra a way to survive. He instructed him to build a great boat, sturdy enough to withstand the raging waters. He told him to gather his family and the seeds of all living things so that life could begin again after the flood. Ziusudra awoke with urgency. He gathered wood and supplies and began constructing the boat as Enki had described. His neighbors mocked him, asking why he was building such a strange vessel on dry land. But Ziusudra did not stop. When the boat was finished, he loaded it with his family, animals, and plants. Then the storm came. Dark clouds covered the sky, and the winds howled like angry spirits. The rain fell in sheets, and the rivers swelled, breaking their banks. The waters rose higher and higher, swallowing cities, fields, and temples. The world drowned beneath the flood. For 7 days and 7 nights, the storm raged, until even the tallest mountains were buried beneath the waves. Inside the boat, Ziusudra and his family waited, listening to the roar of the water outside. When the storm finally passed, the boat came to rest on a mountaintop. Ziusudra opened a window and saw a world transformed. The land was silent, covered in mud and wreckage. He sent out a bird, first a dove, then a swallow, to see if the waters had receded. But they returned, finding no place to rest. At last he sent a raven, and it did not come back. The land was dry. Ziusudra stepped out of the boat and offered a sacrifice to the gods. The sweet smell of the offering rose to the heavens, and the gods gathered. Enlil, seeing that Ziusudra had survived, was at first furious. But Enki spoke in Ziusudra's defense, reminding the gods that humanity was not entirely wicked. There was still goodness in them, still hope for a better world. Moved by these words, the gods relented. Enlil blessed Ziusudra and granted him eternal life, taking him to dwell in the land of the gods. The flood had cleansed the earth, and humanity was given a second chance. This story, written in Cuneiform over 4,000 years ago, is one of the oldest flood myths in the world. But it is not the only one. Similar tales exist in many cultures: Babylon, Greece, India, and even among the indigenous peoples of the Americas. The most famous version is the story of Noah in the Bible, but the roots of the story go back even further, to the Sumerians who first pressed these words into clay. Why did so many cultures tell of a great flood? Some scholars believe it was inspired by real disasters. The land of Sumer was prone to flooding, and a particularly catastrophic flood may have been etched into memory. Others think the story is symbolic, representing rebirth and the power of the gods to reshape the world. Whatever the truth, the flood myth remains a powerful tale. It speaks of destruction and renewal, of human folly and divine mercy. The Sumerians who lived so long ago left us this story as a reminder, written in the marks of their cuneiform script, that even in the face of disaster, life finds a way to continue. And so, the story of the Great Flood, etched in Sumerian cuneiform, survives. A whisper from the ancient world, carried across millennia, reminding us that though civilizations rise and fall, the stories we tell endure.